All right. Hopefully, with any luck, we are live. Sorry, this took me a little bit to get this going today, guys. I was been behind schedule a little bit all day. Cash, Aaron, Bob, what's everybody doing? How's everybody? So let's get into the old aeroplane here today. And yeah, it's just a little bit behind. Just a little bit behind schedule today, but here we are in Isla Grande, which is going to be some cool stuff. Got live weather going. Weather looks awesome. We're going to go, let's see here. We're going to go external power supply on, rotating beacon on, mixtures and props full, forward master and battery switches on. Have I set the fuel pumps up? No, I have not. Fuel pumps on. Mags I gotta do manually. And we'll open the fuel valves. Sim, what's going on, Mike? How are you? Luis, good to see you. Awesome, man. This is great. See everybody today. Gonna get myself situated here. Alright, so hose on the brakes. And let's crack the throttles. Take a quick look outside. And I realized I have not done all my covers. So I kind of feel like my my voice was a little better last week than it is right now. We'll do what we can do. Alright, good start both sides. Fuel pumps off. Check our fuel pressures. Fuel pressure's looking good. Throttles are alright. Avionics master. Let's go nav and strobe lights on. External power supply off. Hey Sheb, what's going on? How you doing? It's awesome to see everybody. Good to be back in the Islander in 2020. I spent the last week and a half flying back and forth between Atlanta and Dallas doing video stuff. Let's go park and brake off. Let's check our alright, trim is good. Alright, so how's everybody else doing this weekend? We're having like FS Clips, what's going on? How are you? We're having a I'm having things fall over, apparently is what I'm having. I just heard a whole bunch of things fall over in the other room. But I'm gonna have to unfortunately decapitate this gentleman. Well, maybe not. We are having summer-like weather here in New York. In bedbugs, what's going on? And weather's awesome today, and we spent the entire day inside doing like house cleaning stuff. So, c'est la vie, you know. Just getting stuff cleaned up and organized and so on and so forth. And doing great. Just flew for 6 days, but 3 days off. Nice. That's, you got to be pretty beat by day 6 of a 6-day trip. No, I would have to imagine. Man. But glad to have you back, man. Good to see you. So let's go. Fuel pumps on. And we'll set the flaps. We'll go landing lights on. Mixtures and props full forward. Looks like a beautiful day for flying in the old Caribbean today. They've had some weather down here the last week. It's kind of like the outskirts of Gabrielle, I think, was the was the hurricane. Now they got a tropical storm that went through. But anyway, alright. Heading indicator checks with the runway number. Takeoff power is coming in. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed is alive. Got a crosswind, I can tell. Also have a truck in the middle of the road. Oh, it's a bus. That's cool. You know, buses got to be somewhere too. May as well be in the middle of the runway, right? This is a great scenery. I love this scenery. And I'm gonna hit some buildings here. 25 squared. Get the nose up here a little bit. Stream Elements. So Stream Elements is a is a bot. I didn't even know that. So I guess I have my own bot now. Aviation dude, life is good. Life is good. It's been crazy busy. It's been a tough week because my dog is not doing real well with cancer, but he's doing better now. He's doing better now, which is awesome. And just been busy. Just been really busy since we got back from Anguilla. Classified YYZ, what's going on? And it's been really busy. FS Clips, I'm using I'm using Tobii Eye Tracker 5. I used Track IR for like, put the nose down here a little bit, put the flaps up. I used Track IR for like probably at least a good 10 years. And then I tried Tobii, the Tobii Eye Tracker, and you just can't go back to being wired after being unwired, you know. 1,000 feet, fuel pumps off, fuel pressure's good. MC, wie geht's dir? Schöne Grüße an dich. Yeah, it's looking gorgeous. But you know what? Speaking of how life is, I was, you know, like I always say, like, all things are relative, right? Like, everybody's got things they're going through, and I've been just having some annoying life things going on, you know, just nothing like life or death, but just irritating stuff. And I was talking to somebody on, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday, and they were telling me that a colleague of theirs at work is 26 years old and has stage 4 cancer. So it's like, okay, well, my life is not so bad. I mean, it's just crazy, you know? Crazy the stuff people go through. Crazy what life throws at people, you know? So my life is good. My life is very good. And just got some parts for the 737. That's nice. On the phone with the oh man, I don't even want to know what duties you're paying for that in Anguilla. I don't understand why the government should get to charge you because you get something in the mail. I don't know, that's weird to me. I mean, you know, the way the world works, right? But just a little odd, is it not? Like, you ordered something in the mail, give me $100. Why? How about leave me alone? How about leave me alone? Berlin. I lived in Berlin for almost 2 years. I loved Berlin, but I was in Berlin in the 90s, which was, well, not quite the 90s. Well, yes, I guess it was. It was 98 to 2000. And that was a totally different time in Germany. I'm sure I probably wouldn't even recognize Berlin now. Alright, flaps are up, fuel pumps are off. Some trim in here. See if we can't keep this airplane level at all. It's nice being back in the Islander. I haven't flown this plane since I flew it with you guys last weekend. FMO, is that Rome? Tweaking the Pimax Super to get the best out of a 3080 Ti. Mike, did you get that, like, the demo, or did you order that? Not that you have to answer that if you don't want to. I think they were asking me if I wanted to demo it, but I don't know, because with a 3080 Ti, it's you know, like, kind of tight. Hey MC, vielen Dank dir. Münster Osnabrück. Visual update and sim update 3, nice. So FMO, I gotta look that one up now. Oh wait, whenever I leave the, I just remembered, whenever I leave the window, whenever I leave the flight sim window when I'm streaming, for whatever reason, the plane plummets to Earth, so I can't check. I've got real turb going, which is why my plane is kind of bouncing around. And it would be turbulent around here, that's for sure. That's kind of, yep, that's kind of, kind of disturbing, actually. So, collab with Pimax, yeah. I want to do, I'm thinking that I'm going to be upgrading here somewhat soon. Upgrading my GPU, and I might have a little bit more firepower for VR. But FMO Münster, okay. Only in the summer. Once had to divert there during a snowstorm. That's one thing I've never had to do, is fly an airplane in a snowstorm. I don't think I would enjoy that. I mean, I'm sure you get used to it, but like at the same time, I'm also sure it's a little nerve-wracking in its own way. No need to upgrade the PC. Interesting, Mike. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Had any more FPS drops with update 4 at busy airports? No. So what I found out was if you turn photogrammetry off, like basically all of the FPS drops disappear. So it's not necessarily the airports. It's photogrammetry. And I mean, like I flew into Zurich with the photogrammetry on, and of course that's like a cool, you know, cool city and like neat to look at, and you would think photogrammetry off would kind of make it less enjoyable, but it really doesn't. I mean, the autogen buildings are all like appropriate for the area, and like I never turned photogrammetry off ever. I've never turned it off using either sim ever. And I flew into Zurich, and the arrival was just terrible. I mean, it was really, really bad on the performance. And so I did it a couple times, trying different things to see what it was, and it turns out it was the photogrammetry, which is weird. I never would have thought of that. And that's exactly what it was. So I've been having the 2020 versus 2024 discussion. What are you in, Cash? The star. What is that? I've been having the 2020 to 2024 discussion with people a lot this week because of the video I did. And one of the things I'll say is that if I had never seen Flight Sim 24, this sim would blow my mind. But I have seen Flight Sim 24, so there you go. 3080 and thinking of upgrading. You know, I've heard really good things about the 5070 Ti, and that's 16 gigs of VRAM, I think. But I've heard really good things about that card, and I don't know what the Super, is going to bring. So I don't know the difference, but I've heard good things about the Starship with it. I thought that was the Starship. I was like, it's got to be. But I've heard good things about the 5070 rather. $5070 Ti. Oh wow, that is pretty cool, MC. Yeah, I'll hopefully have some update, some upgrade news maybe this week, next week, somewhere in there. Yeah, Aaron, I think it was you who was telling me the 5070 Ti is good, but I think I've heard that from a couple people now. I mean, I still think you can get good performance out of the 3080 and the 3080 Ti, and I think that's going to remain true. But I mean, upgrading is fun, you know. And once it gets a little bit less expensive, you know, now the 50 series have been out for a while, makes things a little bit easier. You know, we'll see. DJ3 Pilot, what's going on? How much extra VRAM is it going to be for the Super? And you're looking through my notes trying to find something. Not finding what I'm looking for. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, VRAM is, you know, frame gen is great, but VRAM is where it's at. VRAM is the undeniable king. Cash in a spaceship at 3,000 feet. Chev, the DA-62, that's a nice airplane. Oh, so the next airplane that has come out that I'm really looking forward to, that I haven't bought yet because I don't have the time to mess with it, is the Coronado 172, that 1956 straight tail 172. That thing looks awesome. I cannot wait to fly that airplane. I mean, now that I've seen how good they did, like how good a job they did with the Dakota, I'm really jazzed to see that 172. That's such a cool plane. Paolo, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Paolo, I owe you a reply. I'll get back to you. I've just been crazy busy this last week. Troubleshooting a battery issue. Yeah, Mike, I'm like, I was never like, I was sort of ambivalent about Coronado for a long time, but that Dakota, I mean, sold me on what they can do. That Dakota is so nice in 2024. And I'm assuming that 172 is going to be just as nice. It's such a cool plane. I love vintage airplanes. I love older airplanes. Let's see here. Doink, doink, doink. A little bit extra rudder trim in there. Yeah, they've always been known to be visually really, really nice, but they've always been, the criticism has always been on how they fly. And the Dakota in 2024 is amazing. I mean, it's one of the best flying GA planes I've ever flown in a flight simulator. It's that good. It's just really, really nice. I like that plane a ton. I lived in Berlin. Oh, I thought I just saw that FS clip just for a second there. I lived in Berlin for like 2 years, all told. Kind of back and forth. I was there for 6 months, gone for a while, back for 6 months, gone for a little bit, back for a year. It was good times. I spent New Year's Eve 2000 in Berlin. Good times. And I mean, Berlin back in those days, like the late 90s, like so much of it was I mean, it was only, you know, 10 years from the not even 10 years from the fall of the wall, and like there were like underground, I mean, I wasn't like a clubber, but there were like underground bars and like underground art scene, and like it was all kinds of underground music scene. There's all kinds of cool stuff in Berlin. It probably is now, but it's all, I'm sure, a lot more like organized and corporate, whereas we were just like a bunch of clowns, like running all over the city drinking beer out of cans, you know. It's a good time. It's runway 13, I think, into Culebra. But Berlin back in those days was a freaking blast, man. Friend owns a Piper Saratoga. The moment they restored Antonov AN2 for sightseeing flights. Whoa, that's crazy. Aerostar A6. The Aerostar 600 is a cool airplane. That is a really cool airplane. Am I going to... Did I fly right past Culebra? No, right? Yes, I did. Where am I going? No, that's Culebra. Why do I not see St. Thomas? Okay, I just made myself nervous. Alright. A pilot is never lost. They may be sometimes currently unaware of their present position, but they are never lost. I'm gonna do the Tamarind approach, Tamarino approach. The A600, that Aerostar, they eventually put jet engines on it and called it the Jetstar, if I'm not mistaken. That was a wild airplane, but I think that's still the fastest twin engine piston aircraft ever built. Really cool airplane. Cash, that's not enough voltage, dude. If it shows 0, that is not enough. I mean, do you have any... do you have electrical power? If you do, it might be a so they always say if your battery shows 0, well, I don't know what the systems are in that plane, but like it might just be a gauge issue. Hard to know. 200 knots easy, yeah. And that's pressurized too, right? Let's see here. That's a good idea. You like that one, Bob? Never lost. Presently unaware of my current position. Never lost. Yeah. I'm trying to make out that name. So the clock on the yoke, that is technically, so before you had this thing, that was required equipment for IFR flight, because you have to have a clock with a second hand for timing approaches and timing holding patterns and stuff like that. Once you have this thing, you don't need it anymore because this has got a clock on it. But basically any airplane that was manufactured like before 2005 will have a clock in it like that. I don't know. So let's see here. Generators are working fine, so you have electrical power. Generators are working, batteries are not storing the energy. Interesting. Aerofly FS4. It's supposed to be very nice. Cool. Alright, 1500. Now let's get organized here. Let's go fuel pumps on. Need to cross that hill at about 800 feet. I didn't even know where I was for a while there. Let's see. Yeah, it is basically a wristwatch. That's absolutely correct. And if I could show you my hand, I would show you a cool trick that you can do with wristwatches for flying IFR, but If a lot of the old timers flying IFR would put their wristwatch. Let's see here. Would put their wristwatch so it was pointing like to their thumb basically, and then what you would do is 115 fuel pumps are on, and then what you would do, it would make it so you could see the clock or the face of the wristwatch while you were holding the yoke. So, alright, there's a white arc. Mixtures and props full forward. I'm at idle power, and I'm probably going to stay there because I want to just crawl over this ledge right here. There's the runway. This is actually perfect. How did I manage this? Power's all the way out. And start the roller coaster now. Which way is the wall? Okay. Whoa! Oh shoot! Well, I damaged my landing gear. Let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna load back. Oh gosh, I thought I had nailed that one, and I literally nailed that one. I'll load back in. Oh gosh, I think that's only like the second time I've crashed in one of my streams. Where are we? No. TJCP? No, TJCP. Yes. So this is the easy way to land at Culebra. You just load in to the airport because you crashed on your way in. Let's see. By the way, that is precisely why I don't like that approach. I don't think that's a reasonable approach to be doing when carrying passengers. That was a visit to the garage. That absolutely was. Had to turn my AC on in the office, otherwise I'm gonna overheat my computer here. All right, so we're back. Let's watch some landings from people more successful than myself. Alright. That was kind of funny. So, sucker for wristwatches. Yeah, they actually, yeah, you have to have a way. So, wristwatches and IFR, you have to have a way to time your, like, to time VOR approaches, to time holding patterns. So, you have to have a watch. And it has to have a second hand. Indeed. So I wish everybody else a more successful landing than myself. I think that's the only time I've ever crashed on that landing, and I didn't really feel like that was going to happen. Then again, probably most people who have crashed an airplane didn't really feel like that was going to happen either, you know? So, what are you going to do? Head tracking, it's MC, I used TUPJ Tracker 5, and I think it is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's excellent. So TUPJ Tracker 5, and I highly recommend it. Freddy, what's going on? Yeah, so helicopters are... I've been in a helicopter one time in my life, and I will never set foot in one again because you can tell me all you want about auto rotation, but the bottom line is when the engine quits in a helicopter, you have the aerodynamics of a grand piano, and I'm just not doing it. R.I.P. Yeah, it was tough. Bob's showing us how it's done. That is nice. That was really nice. That was really nice. Let me get my airplane going here. All right. Post crash here. Did I turn my... Oh, please don't do this to me. Head tracking, please. Oh no, my head tracker is not starting up. Okay, let me try starting the head tracker again. Sometimes if you have to reload in, the head tracker doesn't work, which is Not good. Let's see here. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so let's go. External power supply on. Rotating beacon on. Mixtures and props full forward. Master and battery switches. Fuel valves. Fuel pumps. This is the equivalent of the walk of shame, having to start your airplane again after you've crashed it. All right, crack the throttle. Is there anything left to embarrass me? No, there is not. I think I'm good to go. All right. No. All right, we'll start that engine first. Cool. Oil pressure is good. There we go. Oil pressure is good. So, let's go and have the strobe lights on. We'll just pretend I never crashed. That's what we'll do. We'll just pretend I never crashed. And that's like, you definitely can't, you don't get 2 crashes in one flight. So I gotta, or one stream rather. So I gotta clean it up here. 24 gigs of VRAM. the 7900 XTX, yeah. I thought about that. I thought about that exact upgrade, Stellar. How do you, so you like it then, I'm assuming. And I mean, I think there's probably no way not to like it when you've got 24 gigs of VRAM. I mean, I'm sure that covers a lot of faults, you know. Alright, let's see here. I'm just going to leave the fuel pumps on. Nice, we got some water on the taxiway here. MH60. Let's see here. Let's see here. Hey, FS Clips, thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate it. It's good to see you, man. Take care. And don't be a stranger. Good to see you. Artem, what's going on? Yes, I do. I don't know. It's FSLTL. I'm fairly certain. Z Sim Pilot, what's going on, buddy? Back from Japan. Just flew halfway around the world. Are you still going to bed at like 2 in the afternoon, probably? It's good to see you, brother. You just missed an eventful arrival into to say the least, into here. By the way, Z Sim Pilot, they SLH Sim Designs released their St. Bart's. I don't know if you saw it or not. Unbelievable. Alright, mixtures and props full forward. Fuel pumps are on, flaps are set. Runway is clear. Heading indicator checks with the runway number. Takeoff power coming in. Dude, I can't imagine what time your body thinks it is right now. So Z Sim Pilot, for everybody who doesn't know, just came back from Japan. And like I would be texting him. Oh, I didn't change the weight and balance. And I'd be texting him at 10 o'clock in New York, 10 p.m. in New York, and it would be 9 a.m. in Japan. And then like in the morning, I would shoot him a text and I'd have to check the time to make sure I wasn't gonna wake him up in Japan. But some cool stuff. Steve Jones, what's going on? Hey, I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you, man. Good reminder, good reminder. So let's take a look outside. Of course, if they just saw my approach into labor, they might not subscribe, but Bedbug, that Trinidad is a cool plane. I think we had that discussion. That's a cool airplane. Put the flaps up. This is one of my favorite departures in the sim. Such a cool departure. Much better than the arrival. Alright. I'm gonna go 1,500 feet. Over to St. Thomas. BK79, 739. What's happening? Even without all that VRAM, the card is way faster than 38. Yeah, I bet it is. So we're coming up on 1,500 feet. Bring some power back. Bring the props back. Nose it over. This is one of the first places that I flew to in this sim in 2020, when I was like just amazed at how good it looked. I remember flying here and just being like, wow. I had no idea anything about Kulabra at that point. Flaps are up, fuel pumps are off. And it's still one of my favorite GA airports to fly into. Cool island. Cool island. Yeah, we're not doing that. Come on. Stop horsing around. Yeah, his Captain, his St. Bart's looks ridiculous. I can't wait to I can't wait to try like dodging the car traffic on the hill and stuff like that. And the other renditions of St. Bart's don't do the roads around like the circle, the traffic circle and all that stuff. They don't do it justice. And this version obviously does. SLH Sim Designs is just unbelievable. The amount of attention to detail they put into stuff. Why will you not stop climbing, airplane? Okay. So, St. Thomas coming up. Yeah, Stellar, that's the thing about 2024 is it uses less VRAM than 2020 in the similar situation, but 2020 will go up to and exceed VRAM, whereas it doesn't seem like 2024 is so inclined to do so, you know? It's really pretty cool. Supposed to go to Japan with some friends next April. Oh, I've always wanted to go to Japan only because I would eat all of the sushi that they had available. All of it. It would be gone. Biggest gripe with the vintage 172 are the sounds. Oh, okay. Sound pack. That's 145 horsepower too. That little that vintage 172. That's such a cool airplane. I love the I don't know what shape it is. Kind of like an oval, the oval yokes, you know. So cool. Yeah, he's an awesome dude. SLH Sim Designs is my favorite, hands down my favorite scenery developer. Just does such amazing work. The one thing I'm sort of bummed about is that the next time I go to Anguilla, Clayton J. Lloyd International Airport is not going to look the same, you know? Which is sort of depressing, but that's what it's going to be. A lot of people get kind of really into the sounds of the airplane. I mean, I like good sounds, I guess, but it's not the biggest thing I worry about. I mean, the sounds on this plane weren't as good when it first came out, but now the sounds are awesome. But you get people who are like, you know the engines on all the different variants of the 777, and they're all upset about the sounds and stuff. I don't know. I don't get that far into it. And my voice is starting to get a little bit scratchy here. And I don't have my tea. I don't have my tea made. So let's see if we can be a little bit more successful here. at St. Thomas. I just didn't realize I'm left of course here. You can see the REILs. the runway end identifier lights. Alright, put some power back here. Let's shock cool our engine. Tea and honey, yeah, that's usually what I drink. And I'm recovering. I am pretty sure I'm recovering from COVID. I had whatever it was literally the worst cold or flu or whatever it is that I've had my entire life. It was unpleasant. It was about 3 weeks ago at this point. It was completely unpleasant. But yeah, I've been drinking green tea with, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Stellar. We were flying from Miami to Hartford, Connecticut about the first weekend in September, and there was a woman sitting right behind us on the plane who sneezed 7 times in a row at one point and never covered her mouth. And I was like, thank you for that, appreciate it. And my wife got sick first, and she was pretty sick, but and when she recovered, I got sick. And it was, whatever it was the same thing. There's the white arc. And I got it way worse than she did. Like, way worse than she did. Let's slow it down to about 80 knots. Get in some trim. Fuel pumps are on. Flaps are set. And mixtures and props full forward. We gotta bring in some power here. We're running out of energy quick. And yeah, I was in bed for 4 days. And then I couldn't talk for about 2 weeks. My wife says I'm more handsome when I don't talk. Can't tell if she's kidding or not. I love this airport. Coming in a little hot here. Little flat, little hot, but that's alright. I mean, it's not alright, but it's what we're doing. Alright, power's out. Little left rudder, little right aileron. Not too bad. That is a sweet KLM 777 right there. I've seen that user flying that airplane around here before. That's pretty cool. I hope that dude's having a good flight. Alright, let's check our trim here. Trim is good. Mixtures and props full forward. I'll come up 1 notch on the flaps. We're just gonna go touch and go here, fellas. Takeoff power is in. Engine instruments are in the green. I should have announced that before I did it, so then you guys could have done touch and goes too. Got a buzz bob there. I mean, you can't look at this sim and be disappointed. You really can't. I mean, you can say you like one more than the other, but there's no way you can look at this sim and be like, this isn't any good, because it is. You know? It is. That's a cool airport. I'm keeping the power in. The thing with COVID is I was in bed for 4 days too. Oh yeah, that was absolute. I literally, I lost the only good thing about it was I lost I literally lost 12 pounds in like 6 days. I had no desire to eat at all. None. So that was pretty sweet. Little diet, you know. Coming up on 1,000 feet. Pants fit better, you know. Catch COVID. Sweet. We'll do 3,000 feet over to Beef Island. It's another one of my favorite airports. I love this flight. This is a fun flight. Sim Pilot AR in the 777. Let's see. Gloomy year. We should cheer that guy up. It's a good year. Come on. 152. That's a great airplane. 787 on the ground, ready to go. Yeah, dude. I lost 11 pounds. Lost 11 pounds in about 6 days. Crazy. Not feeling good. But we're getting there. I mean, I feel fine. It's just my voice isn't quite back to, it's mainly just, I just have this cough that just won't go away, which I think is fairly typical. 2200 climbing 3000. Yeah, Bob. Excuse me. The ATR approach into Beef Island is sweet. I haven't flown the ATR in quite a bit, and I had an issue with the throttles and the reverse setting, and I talked to Hans Hartmann, who's a developer, and he told me what I was doing wrong, and I got it squared away, and I just got like the burn for the ATR again. This is such a fun airplane to fly. I mean, I understand it's underpowered, and like a lot of people like the what is it, the Q400, Q800, Q400, I think it is. A lot of people like that plane, but I love the ATR. I just think it's such a cool plane. It's a lot of fun. It's a guy I got talking through Instagram about probably in 2020, and he's an ATR first officer for Caribbean Airlines nowadays, which is really cool. I was talking to him the other day. Bob, you'll find this interesting. I was talking to him. He does some days up to 6 legs in the ATR in a single day. I mean, that is crazy. Look at that. That's a different airplane than this one. Yeah, he had just done, this is Red Hook right here, this little, maybe this is, no, this is Red Hook. A lot of restaurants and stuff in there. There's a beach bar here called the Beach Bar right there. And it's got a really great couple of webcams, really fun to watch. Yeah, his eSIM pilot looks good. No, I mean look at this. It's amazing. It still blows my mind. When you think back to like the FSX days, or Prepared, you know, and it's like you look at this, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, 6 legs a day in the ATR. I mean, that has got to be exhausting. That has got to be exhausting. You know, because I mean, those are all like at least 45 minutes, some of them an hour and a half, 2 hours. You know, that has got to be so tiring when you're done. That's the thing I don't think people realize about, like, simulating is one thing, but like being in the actual cockpit itself is a pretty intense environment. Yeah, the beach bar is like right there. Beach Bar St. John, it's called. But being in an actual cockpit is physically pretty intense, and it can, you know, it can be. I mean, I guess that's climate. You know, they've got AC and whatnot in there, but like, it's still, that's a lot of flying. Helios. That's awesome. Oh, the B350. That's another cool plane. That's the thing. There's so many cool planes to fly. But my problem is, like, if I'm gonna fly a plane, like, I have to. Doesn't it look like my flaps are down? Hope they're not. If I fly a plane, like, I have to at least get a pretty decent understanding of it, which is why I can't take too much time to learn different planes, because it just takes a lot of time. Like, I've been flying the Airbuses lately. Oh yeah, so Stellar, I have my private pilot and instrument rating, and anybody who has ever gotten, in particular, an instrument rating and can tell you with a straight face that they've never felt queasy in an airplane is lying to you. It can, I mean, especially like we do most of our flying around here in the summer, just because in the winter it's so cold, and it's intense. I mean, the heat, the noise, like it's intense flying small airplanes. In a lot of ways, flying big airplanes is pretty easy. I mean, you know, like physically, you know. Oh, single pilot IFR. Yeah, Elias, I saw that. That's awesome. I've mentioned this before, but there's a guy, Juan Brown. He has a YouTube channel called Blanco Lirio, and he does a lot of like crash like explanation videos and stuff like that. And he's a 777 first officer. I'm sure my guess is he's probably one of those guys who's a first officer just because it's easier for his schedule, like it's a lifestyle thing. Because he's I would say in his early 50s, and but he's a 777 pilot for United, first officer, and he had a Cessna 310 which he sold. But I mean, this is a guy who has flown, you know, the most modern aircraft in the world, like these gigantic distances, and he says that in small airplanes he is a day VFR pilot. You know, and there's nobody that you could really find that's probably more capable of flying IFR in a capable small airplane. You know, like a 310 is a very capable small airplane, and there's no doubt he could do it very well. But it's just there's so much risk to it, you know. And single pilot, it's crazy. I have never been solo in the clouds by myself. I've been in the clouds. I've never been solo in the clouds, and I don't really know at this point in my life if that's something I'll do. I mean, it's kind of like one of those, like, so what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's kind of like one of those milestones, I guess is a good word for it. You know, as an instrument pilot. But I mean, for me, and I have a Piper Cherokee 180, and I have a digital 3-axis, all Garmin, you know, autopilot, coupled to a GTN 750. I mean, I have a really nice setup. And if you wanted to do IFR, it's a great plane to do it in. But the only problem, I've read so many accident reports in my life. The number of times I've read about the exact wrong thing happening at the worst possible time. I mean, it's like it's hard to even grasp, you know, some of these times, and that's just the way it works. I mean, I am convinced that airplanes just wait, and they're like, okay, well, not yet, just a couple more minutes. Okay, if we fail this gauge now, this guy's screwed, and it just doesn't. I mean, There are a million ways to kill yourself in an airplane. The single pilot IFR, like, you get the wrong situation, you're in deep trouble. I mean, I was talking about it last week on Discord. I was sitting here in my office and a plane went overhead, and it was hard IFR, and I was looking at I looked on Flight Radar 24, and I was almost positive it was going to be a Cirrus, because it always is. Like, whether you wouldn't fly in, if you hear an airplane, 9 times out of 10 it's a Cirrus. And it wasn't. It was an Arrow. It was a Piper Arrow, and I looked it up. It was like a 1978 Piper Arrow, and this guy was flying into Syracuse, New York, hard IFR. It was like 300 broken, 800 overcast, and I'm like, why would you? And I know it was a training flight. I know it was, because I know where they were flying from, and I was just, why would you do that? Like, I'm sure it's fun, you're learning a lot, but if something goes wrong, you are done. You are D-U-N done. And people do this stuff. I just don't get it. You know? But anyway, enough of my jibber jabber. Alright, we're looking pretty good here with speed. Not really. Too fast. That wasn't too bad. Hard on the brakes. Aerodynamic braking. Can I make it? I made it. Alright. That's what's so great about Flight Sim, is you can do all this stuff and not kill yourself. You know? Makes it a lot more fun. Nice landing, by the way, Bob. Lumineers. Lumineers coming in. What am I doing? I have no idea. Looks like everybody's here. Ah, there comes Helios. Helios, am I correct in assuming that you're Greek? I think that's probably not the biggest shot in the dark in the world, but my wife and I found this really cool detective series based in Greece that was like from 2008 on, might have been Amazon, I don't know. It was really cool. I don't know. Anybody else come in there? That 350 looks nice too. That's a really capable airplane. Alright, let's set, what am I doing? Set the heading indicator. Oh, actually that's correct, I think, for where we're going. So next up is Anegada. TUPA. Yeah, it is windy. You know, when you're looking out the side of the window to look straight ahead, that's when you know it's windy. I've always wanted to. Greece seems like a really cool place to me. You know, I mean, I'm getting into like generalizations about people, but it's Americans do nothing but work. It's all we do. We work, and then we work some more. Like, we don't enjoy life in this country, for the most part, the way, in particular, Southern Europeans do. Like, I spent a little bit of time in Italy a couple of years ago, well, like 5-6 years ago, and they enjoy themselves, you know? And it's not like they don't work. They do, but, like, I've told this story before on Buckman, we are in, let me type it in before I crash. TUPJ. We are in Canadians work hard. Yeah, I mean, it's like that's how we value ourselves, right? Like, I've told this story before, but we were in this small town in Italy for a wedding, and it was a Monday morning. It was like the second day we were there, and we went and we found this little cafe. All right, fuel pumps are on, flaps are set, trim is okay, mixtures and props full forward, and there's Buck, man, and it was like 9 o'clock, 9:15 in the morning, and there were these impeccably dressed Italian businessmen in these, you know, beautiful suits and cufflinks and like really looking good. And they were standing in the cafe, drinking their coffee or what, you know, cappuccino or whatever it is they were drinking, out of, you know, nice ceramic coffee mugs, and just talking and enjoying themselves. Whereas in the United States, like at 9:15 or at 7:15 in the morning, the people in the small city where I live are racing to get to Stewart so that they can get their coffee cups, their coffee in a paper cup, and, you know, drive 900 miles an hour to work, you know, and almost die 7 times on the way. And it's like, you know, why am I not climbing the way I feel like I should be climbing? Alright, let's do this. Let's go full everything here. I've talked about this before too. Expected performance. Always know what kind of a performance you should be getting. So then if you don't, you will realize it and hopefully do something about it. But like the Italians, at least that I saw for the couple of days that I was there, like, enjoy themselves. You know, they're not in a rush to do everything the way Americans are. It's like, it's crazy. Like, we have, you know, the most successful economy in the world and like the most stressed out people who are not enjoying themselves. I don't know. It's just the way we do it, you know? Okay, now the airplane is really climbing very well. But anyway, I just figured Greece is probably like a pretty chill place. I have friends from Croatia, and they say the same thing. Like, it's just, they just live life slower, you know? Okay, where is Anagata? There we go. You know, they just live life a little slower. I think 2,000 feet's gonna be good. And like, you know, hang out and like my neighbor behind me is he was born here, but his family's from Croatia. And he said, like, back home in Croatia, they just hang out drinking coffee and chatting, you know? Just a much better way to live life. Right, Helia? So I'm not wrong, right? I mean, I don't mean to generalize about people, but I just get the feeling that there are certain places in the world they just are a little bit more chilled out than the rest of us, and they should be. But at the flip side of it too, like, you talk about the Caribbean, and like everybody's so laid back and blah blah blah, but they're all scratching and fighting like crazy. Like, I'm not all, but like a lot of people are, you know, working their fingers to the bone just to keep a roof over their heads, you know. But anyway, I'm not being depressing, am I? I hope not. South UK, people can hardly say hello. Yeah, you know, I remember the last time I was in I work from home. My office is in New York, in Manhattan. And last time I was in my office was 2017. And I was walking. I used to work in New York City, but I hadn't been there in a long time, like probably 10 years. And I was walking into a diner in the morning the first day I was there. I was down there for some meetings. and I'm walking into this diner, and I held the door open for somebody, and I said hello to them, and they looked at me like, what? You know, like, people just you don't say hello to people, you know? Like, what are you doing, weirdo? It's just strange, you know? Come on. What's going on? How are you? General mentality of, yeah, right? Helios, I would tend to think that's probably the case. That's, you know, and it's such a, you know, I mean, yes, there is a time for work. There is a time for productivity and all that fun stuff. But like, what are you working for? You know, so you can have a nicer car. Or like, I don't know. It's just, it gets kind of pointless after a while. What runway is this? Where is my airplane? Where is my airplane? Alright, this is runway 9. Okay. So, I think I've gone on a rant about this before. Live to work or work to live? That's the question. Yeah, Buckman, you're right about that one. The game name is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'll type it in for you. Yeah, that's absolutely it, right? And you know, it's funny too. Like, there's so many curiosities about the world. Like, you know, you hear people say things like they would just like a simple life on the water, like a simple life living on the water, and a simple life living on the water costs a lot of money. You know, so it's like, and I think even more and more in this day and age, like, there's no secrets anymore, right? Like, there's no secret cool places to go. There's no secret cool places to live, because, you know, somebody posts it on the internet and everybody knows. You know, there's places like Cartagena in Colombia, which are like just these amazing cities that are inexpensive to live in and beautiful, and like, and now there's like 1 trillion Americans that live there because people figured out that it was a cool place to go. You know, yeah, my lovely wife says to me all the time, like, I would just love to live a simple life on the water. I'm like, yeah, me too, honey. It's really expensive, you know. Seems like the world has gotten more complicated. It's gonna get real complicated here, diving at 2,000 feet a minute. Just waiting to see what's gonna happen. Okay, more power out. No, I am not on VATSIM right now. I usually am. I love flying on VATSIM. But this particular time I am not. Alright, let me get my head. Alright, there's 110 knots. We'll go 1 notch of flaps. Fuel pumps are on. And coming back into the white arc. Read the other day that Finland is the happiest country on Earth. BK, sorry I missed your message. Finland is the happiest country on Earth. It is also the country on Earth that takes out the most library books per capita. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you will learn all kinds of pointless stuff here at the Island Sim Power Channel. Yes, the Finns are like perennially, they're always the happiest people on Earth. You wonder why. You know, here's the other thing though. Once again, looking out the side window here's the other thing. Like, as much as I like Fuel pumps on, flaps are set, mixtures and props full forward. As much as I like the idea of a relaxed, like slow-paced life, I don't know if I could do it long term. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so used to the pace of life here that I don't know if I could actually get myself to chill out. I mean, I can do it. When we were in the Caribbean for 2 weeks last year, and honestly, like at the end of the 2 weeks, it was like, okay, like after like 14 days, it's like gets a little slow, you know, even though that's the whole point. And this is one of my favorite little Freeware airports, by the way. I want to come out here in real life. I want to see this airport. I want to see this island, rather, in real life. This is, they say that this island is like the Caribbean was like 50 years ago. It's a cool place. I may as well just, I'll come in here and park for a little bit. Watch some landings. Oh, there's a Winair Twin Otter. That's so cool. Guys, we got parallel landings. Let me see here. Kamehameha, so you knew it was Microsoft Flight Simulator, but you didn't know it was Microsoft Flight Simulator, but you knew about VATSIM. That's interesting. Anyway, let's see some more landings here. You're always watching tides and weather. Yeah, that's the other thing. And that's the other thing too about a lot of places that are like interesting to perhaps live is like now you really start having to worry about like what's the weather going to be like, you know. And I did lean my mixtures. I'm not sitting here burning my engines. What am I waiting for? Maybe I should just get going. Probably. So let's matriculate. Flaps are good. Fuel pumps are on, which they shouldn't be. But so, but anyway, I forgot to show you what we're at. Really cool. Whoopsie. Come on. Okay. Oopsie. Whenever I'm looking backwards at the plane, like, it goes south. Everything goes south. Alright. Let me see here. Let me see. So now we're going to truly one of my favorite airports. Virgin Gorda. This is one of the coolest little airports in the Caribbean. That's a pretty good crosswind landing right there that I did. Alright, mixtures and props full forward. Fuel pumps are on. Flaps are set. Heading indicator is correct. Put in a crosswind correction, even though it doesn't really work in Flight Sim 2020. Eric, the reason I do 2020 is for group flights. It's the only reason I use it anymore. Because a lot of people are still on 2020, and in particular some channel regulars that I don't want to leave out, you know. But like in my own personal flying, the only thing I fly is 2020. Or 2024, rather. Gosh, that is beautiful. Yes, I do have my PPL. Yes, I do. Although you wouldn't get, you wouldn't know it some days, but yes, I do. Alright. No, I have my instrument rating, but that's it. I'm actually thinking about doing my single engine commercial. I have a buddy of mine who just got his literally just got his instructor certificate like 2 weeks ago. And I'm strongly considering getting my single engine commercial. Yeah, I have my instrument rating. I'm strongly considering getting my single engine commercial just for the sake of doing it. I almost think I like flight training more than I like flying. I mean, a lot of my flight time is training, but that's probably true of a lot of pilots. So I think 1,500 feet is gonna do nicely for the leg over to. Let's do 3,000. Yeah, instrument training was a blast. That was easily the most fun I've ever had flying. Was instrument training. It's a pain. It's challenging and it's difficult, but once you get, that's kind of the fun part about it, actually. But once you get into the groove of it and start, there's a huge learning curve. With instrument training, once you start to get it, it comes together pretty quickly, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Makes you and it's one of those things that pilots will tell you, the instrument rating makes you a much better pilot, and it's true. It's absolutely true. Coastal home insurance is very hard to get these days. Yeah, I mean, what's somewhat aggravating is a lot of people, don't. Like, I mean, I don't even know in Florida if you can even get insurance at all. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've heard some stories of like that it's just impossible to get homeowners insurance. Or maybe a more accurate way to put that is that a lot of people don't have flood insurance, and they really should, and it's just nobody gets it. It's weird. I don't know. But you get all these, like, I mean, California is getting really, really difficult to get insurance too, because the whole place burns down every couple of years. But it's one of the things about where I live, like the weather, like winters really suck. Like they really, really suck. But like my house isn't gonna get wiped out anytime soon. There's something to be said for that, You started on your PPL? That's great. Kamahama. That's awesome. Good luck to you. I will tell you one thing about flight training is that there are days when you are going to think you are the best pilot who ever lived, and there are days you are going to think, I am the worst pilot who ever lived. How can anybody have ever let me in the cockpit? And it's just, you just got to stick it out. It's challenging. You're going to have your ups and downs. Every student pilot has had their ups and downs doing it, but it is a lot of fun. I think one of the things I would really recommend people to do with flight training is just enjoy it. Everybody's so worried about, like, how many hours did it take to solo? How many hours did it take to do this? How many hours did it? Just enjoy it. Because the whole point is, when you're done, to be a competent pilot. That's the whole point. Whether it takes you, 50 hours, whether it takes you 150 hours. Like, the whole point is just to be competent and be able to fly an airplane well. So just enjoy it. I love flight training. It's a blast. But we put so much pressure on ourselves. And there's always one thing that's going to be more challenging for you than it was for anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, there's always one, like, either navigation or crosswind landings. There's always going to be something that's going to be like a hang up for you. And you just got to keep at it, you know? But, it's a lot of fun. Flying airplanes is a hoot. This is runway 3. Excuse me. This is runway 3, by the way. I'm starting to imagine what's for dinner tonight. I'm getting hungry. I don't know if you guys are hungry. I'm hungry. Then again, I'm always hungry. Let's see here. What do we got? Lumiere is still flying around. Shed bringing it back. Looking good, looking good. That's our little runway right there. I love those little those windmills right there. And I know I don't have any sort of add-on that would put them there, so that's kind of cool. Generating some electricity there. F-28. I can't wait for the PMDG to come out for 2024. I cannot wait. I miss that airplane. I put a ton of time in that airplane. In 2020. I used to fly that plane basically every day. Like Miami to St. Martin, Miami to St. Kitts, Miami to Antigua, Miami to Barbados, like just all the time. Hello, we are still flying, my friend. We haven't always flown successfully today. It hasn't been a pure success, but we're still flying. This is Virgin Gorda. Mrs. Island Sim Pilot's been here. I haven't been here, but I would love to go there. And you can see the strip right there, the airstrip. We're basically exactly on a downwind right now. I think I would really enjoy living in this part of the world. I really do. Bring a little bit more power out. Just beautiful. That's what's wild about me. It's about both sims is like you can look at locations in the sim and be like, wow, that's beautiful. You know, I mean, that's how cool the sim is. Paolo, you're the man. You guys are awesome. I always say if it wasn't for you guys, I would just be sitting here talking to myself. So, which, mind you, I do. But that's a whole different story. So I got a couple of things I wanted to do for videos that I haven't gotten to yet. Number one is SLH Sim Designs St. Bart's. I got a couple performance tricks up my sleeve that I'm working on, and then I really want to do a video on that 172. Of course, I have to buy it first, but I think that Carinata 172 is going to be a hoot. I really do. So this is Virgin Gorda Airport. Wait till if you haven't seen, I know a lot of you have because a lot of you flown this with me a bunch of times. But wait till you see this airport. This is a Freeware airport from FlightSim.to, and it's just an awesome little airport. Absolutely awesome little airport. Shed, Buckman, Bedbug, Panther. You guys are awesome. Got Bob off the right wingtip here. Yeah, this is a cool little airport. I would love to come here in real life. Alright, bring some more power out here. Why are you climbing when I took power out? Why are you doing this to me? Alright, let's see here. Gotta cross this little hill here at about 600 feet. Right over here, about 600 feet, and cut it in. Alright. Try to get back to, about 115 knots here. Let's see. There we go. There's 115 knots. We'll go first notch of flaps. I don't mind a lazy turn right here because you don't really, you're kind of cutting across. You're not really flying a square pattern into this airplane. Captain Cocktail, what's going on? That's a great name. You would think you would just cut right over here and drop it in, but you come right over this little edge there. Probably because of the houses on top of that hill. Alright, I gotta get my head tracker in a good spot here. Alright. Whoa. I was just gonna say that Tradewind flies PC-12s in here, which I think is pretty impressive. Alright, let's go second notch of flaps. That's gonna require a drop of the nose here. So yeah, I don't mind 70 knots actually, so I don't have to give it any power right now. Alright, wind should be a little bit out of the left, I would think. So 600 feet over the edge here. Flaps are set, fuel pumps are not on. This is why we have checklists. And turn your fuel pumps on for landing in case your engine driven fuel pumps fail. And this is not looking good. Mixtures and props full forward. I'm gonna get away with this because I'll be able to pull the nose up and slow down, but this is not an ideal approach. Rule number 1, you can't crash twice in one stream. And we got away with it. A little bit of left rudder. Whoopsie. What am I doing? Why did I put left rudder in? I don't know. I felt like it was a left crosswind, but it wasn't. Alright, let's put in some brakes. Nice. Alright, we got it down. Lean the mixtures for taxi. Fuel pump's coming off. There we go. Buckman greased it. Helios in the F-22. That's awesome. Bedbug bringing it in nicely. Helios, I want to see you. I want to see you land the F-22 here. Probably can. Full reverses. Bedbug looking great. The wind must be dead here because the hill must be blocking it, if I had to guess. Grab the old lady next to you. This is going to be bumpy. Yeah, seriously. Seriously. But, so check out this little airport, for those of you who haven't seen it. I'll come over here and park. And I'll show you guys this little airport. This is... it just blows my mind that people take the time to do this, like, for free. So we'll go mixture's idle, cutoff throttles are idle, toes on the brakes, parking brakes set, flaps are up, lights coming off. We'll go mags off. Fuel pumps are off, flaps are up. Avionics master, master and battery switches. Then we'll go chocks and we'll go boarding steps. And we'll open all the doors. Nice. Alright, now. So Helios, they're showing you as like a 777 or something. But look at this little airport. There's a little Freeware airport, and they did the interior. They did a little fire station. You know, a little statue over here. Pretty sweet for. All right, here we go. Here we go. He's climbing. No chance, but I'll try. Hey, you don't think you'll make it coming in at 500 knots? Wonder what the F-22 lands at. Probably got to be pretty fast. Yeah, it's a fun approach, isn't it, Bob? Helios, none of us will judge you on your landing. This is a judgment-free zone right now. I just want to see you try. Looking good, looking good. That is looking real good. Full reverses, this is going to be alright. You can put it on firm. I'm telling you, dude, you did it. That's awesome. Brakes. Look at this. You used half the runway. That was brilliant. Shaved off some speed by hitting the hill. I mean, you know. That was really good. Nice, nice, nice. That's a TAP. That's Portugal. Paulo. I think that is anyway, right? The model. I think that's a TAP. Anyway, gentlemen, this was an awesome time. I'm glad. Thank you to everybody who stayed late to for the late start. I appreciate it. Right? That's what that is, Paulo, no? TAP. And yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out. $300 million damage on the landing. Hey, you know, I did probably $50,000 worth of damage on my landing gear on the first landing, so no trouble at all. And but yeah, I really appreciate everybody coming out, guys. This is a lot of fun. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. And we will definitely be doing this. Hey, Paolo, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll definitely be doing this. Excuse me for coughing, guys. Definitely be doing this again next week. And if I get a chance, oh wait, no, I will not be able to do it this Wednesday. I won't be able to do it this Wednesday. But hey, Bedbug, you're welcome, man. Thank you, Buckman. I really appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate the let me stop my head tracker so I don't keep moving around. Buckman, thank you for that. I really appreciate the support on that one. And Helios, awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming around. It's good to see you again. Paolo, good to see you. Bob, Captain Cocktail. Kenneth, I missed I apologize, man. I was doing home stuff too. Kenneth, I apologize for missing your comment earlier. I was in the midst of trying not to crash. It was good to see you, Kenneth. Captain Cocktail, good to see you. BK739, good to see you. Kamahama, hey, good luck with the flight training. You know, stick to it. It's got its challenges, but stick to it. Eric, good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it, guys. Always a good time. Stellar Approach, thank you for stopping in and really appreciate it as well. Good to see you. And hey, Captain Cocktail, next week, same about 3 o'clock Eastern time is usually when we go. This is gonna be a vertical takeoff right here. Look at this. Shoop. Yup. You didn't know an A320 could do that, did you? That's awesome. That must be kind of fun. I've never done any flying like that. Must be kind of fun. But beautiful view, huh? Hey, Mike. Thank you again, man, for coming out. I appreciate it. Always good to see you. So I'm going to let you guys go find out what's for dinner. Hope everybody has a great night and has a great week. I will not be flying Wednesday because we got some stuff going on. But next Sunday, we'll be back at it. Take care, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support and taking the time. And we'll talk soon, guys. Take care. Yeah, we can do a group flight 2024. We can do that. That's a good idea, Buckman. Because to schedule that, that's a good idea. Maybe alternate them. 2021 week, 2024 the next. That's a good idea. I like that idea, Buckman. All right, fellas, take care. Thanks again for everybody. I appreciate everybody coming out.